Hey polish fans, it's Caroline again and welcome to another video here at Wild Wind Lacquer. In today's video, we are jumping into part 37 of this huge haul of nail polish that I got on Facebook Marketplace for $400. This is our last tote. This has mostly been mainstream brands, and off the top of this layer I can see some OPI, some Sally Hansen. I see what I think is some China Glaze or Sinful Colors, maybe Sinful Colors over there, Milani, Essie, and various other mainstream brands. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this segment and see which ones we can find. I'm going to aim for about 60 bottles in this video as well. All right, the first one is a Milani, and their 3D holographic line, and this one is called High Tech. So this is actually a brand that I don't own that many from. I believe you can find them at like CVS or other drugstores. And there's After a Good Shake. I don't know that the linear holographic is very prominent in this one. This one is kind of a very light, like lemon lime green. I feel like it's coming off much more faded on camera. In person, it's just a pinch more saturated than that color, but it is a lighter color. Again, the holographic on this is not as linear as an indie would be, but you can definitely see that holographic particle in there. And apologies about my chipped nails. Maybe I should have done this before I decided to film this. In any case, this one does have those beautiful larger holographic particles. Yeah, there you can see that lighter color. In fact, I think that's more color accurate to what I'm seeing in person. But yeah, this kind of a color, I just don't know. It's not doing it for me right now. I think I would prefer it if it was a little bit more saturated or more of a pastel. And right now what it's giving me is more like a very light washed out green. It could be a gemstone green. I'm not quite a peridot. It's not green enough, but it could be like a yellow green diamond, if there is such a thing. Like if you took a yellow diamond and got a pinch of green in it. Yeah, maybe it's that. But I do think I will go ahead and pass this one along. That one was Milani's High Tech, our first one of the bunch and our first into our D-stash. I think that's happened a few times in the last few videos. Okay, next up we have one from Savine, I think. It's kind of hard to tell because this is a black bottle, but this one is called Midnight. And my guess is this is their black cream. This one has kind of an odor to it. I don't know if that's maybe a thinner that was put into it or what the case is, but I do have a ton of black nail polish, even just from this haul. I want to say I've kept quite a few at this point, so I don't really necessarily think I need another one. So I think we're going to go ahead and add this one to the D-stash as well. We are off to a good start with the D-stash. So this one is Savine Midnight going in the D-stash. Next up, we have a purple from Sally Hansen in their Insta-Dry line. This one is called Pronto Purple. And this one, might be a bit dried out. Let's see if a shake fixes that up. Nope. Seems to be, yeah, pretty gloopy. But it's gloopy, not necessarily dried out. And that is a pretty color. It's kind of a fuchsia-y purple. It's got that pink lean to it. Very pretty shimmer. So I think what we'll do is we'll put this in the Can I Fix It pile and try adding some nail polish thinner and see if I can't get that back into complete working order. You can see that the shaking that I did actually did do a little bit more than I thought it did initially. You don't quite see that huge gap in there, but yeah, it definitely needs some help. So that's going to go in the Can I Fix It pile. That was Sally Hansen's Pronto Purple. Next up, we have an older Sinful Colors. Wow. I don't think I've run into too many bottles that are this old. This, especially for the Sinful Colors brand, I think I've maybe run into one other bottle that had this older logo from them. Obviously it is Sinful Colors, and this one is Frozen Pink, and this one is a very nice soft pink. It is a shimmer polish, kind of almost verging on a pearl, so it's a very delicate pink. I would almost classify this as like a winter pink because it is so desaturated. It's mostly that shimmer. Trying to decide if this is one that I could see myself attempting to wear. And I mean, I probably could. I could probably talk myself into it, but I don't know. We're on a roll with the D-stash for right now, and I've already kept a lot of polish, so I think we're going to go ahead and pass this one along. That one is Sinful Colors Frozen Pink. Next up, we have one from Maybelline, and this one is called French Tip White. So this is not the first bottle that I have that is that name, although I think the one that I have is a different brand, maybe a Sally Hansen or maybe even a Wet n Wild. White polish is another one of those colors that I have kept quite a lot of. There are variations in white. I mean, when you talk about painting a room white, for instance, there are a million different tonality differences. You can go warm, you can go cool, you can go neutral. So with white polishes, I have been keeping a handful here and there to eventually do some comparisons of and see if I need more than one long term in my collection. And this is one I don't think I have, and I'm curious enough, oddly enough, to see how this does compare. It seems to be a pretty full bottle and in really good shape, so we'll see how that compares to some of the other white polishes that I've already kept. That was Maybelline's French Tip White, our first going into the keep pile. Next up we have, here we go, it's an A at the end, so this one is another from Savina, and this one is called Light Mist. And this one is a very, very light blue. This is doing the reverse of that Milani and is actually showing up much brighter of a blue, more of a saturated blue on camera than it is in person. For whatever reason, this lighting really likes my blues and doesn't like my greens. It's very strange. But in any case, this is a very light blue cream. Another one that I would describe as sort of a Cinderella blue. Just very, very light. It has a lot of white in it. Now this is a very nice color, but I do feel like I've kept a number of these very light bleached out light blues, so I don't really feel the need to have another one. I don't feel like I'm missing out if I don't keep this one. So this is going to go in the D-stash as well. We're going to continue the roll. This one is Savina's Light Mist. Next up we have a purple from Nicole by OPI, and this one is Virtuous Violet. And yeah, this is a beautiful shade of purple. There are these larger particled pink shimmers in there. So this one is a really beautiful color. This one is also not showing up, at least on my phone, accurately. I feel like it's pulling a lot more like a midnight blue leaning purple, whereas in person it is definitely just a straight up purple. I don't really see too much in the way of a blue tone to this, and it does have a dusty quality to it. I really like the shimmer that you're seeing, that larger particled fuchsia. Very pretty combo. So this is one that I think is going to go in the do I have it pile. I do have a handful from this brand, and I'm curious if I have this one. I didn't necessarily buy any of them directly from OPI, if that's indeed where you would have gotten this. I don't really know much about the collaboration exactly, but I know I do have a few bottles, and I want to make sure that I don't already own one before I add this to the collection. So same rules will apply. If I do already own a bottle, this will go in the D-stash. If I don't own a bottle, it will go in the keep pile, at least until I can do those comparisons that I need to do. So that is Nicole by OPI's Virtuous Violet. Next up, we have one from Nubar, and this one is called Avant Garde. And apologies if you hear my husband in the background, he is gaming in the next room and can be kind of noisy. In any case, this one is a really beautiful sort of pearl leaning burgundy shade. This one is beautiful. This is another kind of in that same lineup of these deeper red tones that I first started to enjoy in the red family. And this is one I could definitely see myself wearing. This kind of a polish I think would look amazing mattified as well. And this is one I don't think I own yet, so this is going to go in the keep pile. That one is Nubar's Avant Garde. Next up, we have a blemished top coat, I think, from Essie. This is their Too Dry For. I don't think I've heard of that top coat from this brand, but as you can see, it seems to have gotten a little bit of nail polish in it, which definitely happens from time to time. I find that sometimes it happens with glittery nail polishes, other times it happens with very pigmented colors. I've had pinks or reds do this to me as well. So very curious how this lighter blue got in there, but yeah, I don't know, that might actually affect how it's gonna wear, like how the top coat would apply. There's only about a third of the bottle left anyways, But, I mean, it's a top coat. I would guess based on the name that it is a quick dry. So maybe what I'll do is keep these for my swatches. Because yeah, I could always use another top coat for that. So that's going to go in the keep pile. That is the to dry for top coat from Essie. Next up, we have one from Sally Hansen in their Complete Salon Manicure line. And this one is called Ruby Dew. And this is a beautiful shade of this mulberry in a cream formula. This is stunning. This is a very rich tone. It's got that mix between a purple and a pink, a very deep berry. This is one that I don't think I have either. Love the brush on this formula as well. These bottles have a really nice flat wide brush. It might not be like my favorite, but as far as some of the mainstream brands go, this one is one of the nicer brushes. So this is going to go in the keep pile as well. Again, at least until I can do those comparisons, because this is another color family that I for sure need to do comparisons of. But that is Sally Hansen's Ruby Dew. Next up, we have this little bottle from Sephora, and this one is called number 18. I honestly don't know if that's a name or not, because I'm pretty sure that's just nail polish, right? Made in France? Honestly, I don't know, but I don't see any other name attached to it. And this one is a really beautiful, like orange mother of pearl. It's giving me shell vibes. You have this peachy, almost coppery color in the base, and then it's got a very strong pink flash. There's also some gold that I'm seeing in person. This one is very nice. I want to say this is kind of reminding me of a color that I used to have years ago. I just cannot think of if it maybe was a Maybelline or a Revlon or what the case is, but look how beautiful that is. It's got that sort of a shimmery pearlescent finish to it. This is very nice. So I'm going to have to figure out if this has a name, but this is going to go in the keep pile. So that is an unknown Sephora. Next up, we have a Sinful Colors, and this one is called Midnight Blue. And this one has seen some damage. It has been attacked by another bottle of nail polish. This one is a really beautiful deep blue. Now, the name of this one definitely sounds familiar. I'm wondering if I got a bottle of this perhaps in a Goodwill bag, but it is a really pretty color. Ooh, if I can get this one open. My goodness. I did apply lotion right before the video. Maybe that was a mistake. In any case, I can't get this open, but what I'm going to do is put this in the do I have it pile, because like I said, the name definitely rings a bell, so it's possible that I already have a bottle. But that was Sinful Colors Midnight Blue. Next up, we have a tall Milani, and this one is called Green Sketch. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, I think this is one of their art bottles. Yeah, I can actually open this one. Yeah, so this is going to have one of their longer, thin nail art brushes. And this is more of a yellow green that I feel like is coming off on camera. It also needs a very good shake to redistribute the pigment in the bottle. And there's one of those cat treats that fell in there a while ago. So yeah, this one is still going to need a bit more shaking. You can see some of the yellow settled there and some of the white settled at the bottom of the bottle. So as much as I normally don't like this kind of a bottle, this particular shade is actually very springy in its green, and it is a color that I would use in flower art. So I think I'm going to surprise myself and put this in the keep pile. This one's definitely on its way to the de-stash over there, but I think I've talked myself into using it for nail art, or at least trying to. We'll see how that goes. Like I said, this kind of a bottle brush duo is not exactly my favorite, but for this color, I do think that it would work nicely for that kind of a floral nail design. So we'll see if I end up using that. But that one is Milani's Green Sketch. Next up, we have one from Rimmel London, and this one is called Steel Gray. And this is a beautiful color. This is kind of like one of those cozy winter colors. It has a brown mauve mix in here, a pinch of gray. Definitely not a steel gray though, so that's a very interesting name to have chosen for it, but it is a very pretty color. This is definitely a color that I could see myself wearing. It is a beautiful warm neutral, so this is going to go in the keep pile as well. I actually don't have too many from this brand, so I doubt I already have this one. That is Rimmel London's Steel Gray. Next up, we have one from Dermalect. And this one, I am not seeing a name on. This is also not exactly a new to me brand, but I recognize this for some reason, so it's possible I've seen the bottle somewhere somehow. This particular one is kind of an orchidy pink in a cream formula. So this is one of those colors that I do, of course, like. Just trying to decide if this is one that I think would stand out among the other colors that I have in this range already in my collection. I mean, it is a pretty color. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. So we're going to go with it. That's going to go in the D stash. That one is Dermalect's Unknown Pink. Next up, we have another green, this time from Sally Hansen. And this one is I Rush Luck. And that name definitely sounds familiar too. This one is another grassy green. Now, this one is maybe a shade darker than that one from Milani. So this is going to go in the... I was going to say it's going to go in the Do I Have It pile, but honestly, even if I do not have a bottle, I feel like I'm fine just passing this one along. So that one is Sally Hansen's I Rush Luck. We are doing good on the D-stash today. All right. Next up, we have an Essie, and this one is called Mind Your Mittens. And this one is a very interesting steel blue-gray in a cream formula. So actually on the brush, it's not as blue as I thought it was in the bottle. In fact, on camera, it's coming up as just a basic charcoal gray. So I'm wondering how, if at all, the blue that you're seeing in the bottle is going to actually show up on the nail. Very curious. Yeah, it might depend on light, because when I take the bottle and look at the brush over in my lap with the lighting slightly different, I do see more of that blue on the brush. So I think this is going to go in the keep pile, at least again until I can do those comparisons and swatches and see how this might look compared to the other grays that I already own, maybe compare it to some of the dusty blues as well, and see where it lines up and if it's necessary to keep it or if it just doesn't serve a purpose for me. But that one is going in the keep pile. That was Essie's Mind Your Mittens. Next up, we have another Sinful Colors. This one is called This Is It. And this one is interesting. Look at that. So first of all, it does need to go to shake because it's very separated. But look at the twinkles in this one. So this one is a deep gold, and it's got these sparkles of blues, purples, and fuchsias in there, which is what is definitely catching my eye because I'm not much of a gold person. But let's go ahead and see if this is a sheer or solid. Yeah, it definitely has a sheer squishy formula, as you can see there on the wand. Just trying to figure out if this would look mostly just yellow on me, and I think it probably would. I do have a yellow shimmer from Bee's Knees Lacquer that is more of a sheer yellow as opposed to this rich gold, and I think if I wanted a yellowish polish with some shimmer, I'd probably go for that one over this one. So we're going to go ahead and pass this one along. That was Sinful Colors, This Is It. Next up, we have a little Orly in their Color Blast line, and this one is called Royal, and I guess it's part of their gloss glitter line, maybe. So this one is a blue with a larger particle blue shimmer. Ooh, yeah, that is really beautiful. If my camera would focus. No, it just does not want to focus on those twinkles, but that's a really pretty color. I like the tone of the bright blue that you're seeing in those flakies, that larger particle shimmer. And I don't think this is one that I have, so it's going to go in the keep pile. That one is Orly's Royal. Next up, we have another Sinful Colors, and this one is called Nail Junkie. And this one I know I have. I remember getting this one. I was blown away by the glitter in this one. It is this beautiful teal jelly with these beautiful iridescent glitters. So since I already have a bottle of this one will be going in the D-stash. This is a pretty polish, but I don't need two of them, and I'm trying to limit myself to, if I keep any duplicate bottles, keeping the ones that are very, very special or ones that are just so super unique that I couldn't ever replicate them. So this one I feel okay letting go. So we're going to go ahead and go with that. That is Sinful Colors Nail Junkie. Next up, we have one from OPI, and this one is called Glitzerland, and this is another gold. Now, this is a lot lighter than that one from Sinful Colors. As you can see there, it is much more of a soft, almost silver-leaning gold, as opposed to the very vibrant, deeper gold from the Sinful Colors. This one also has some beautiful shimmer in it. It's got some lovely twinkles, this time in more of a silver, but again, it is a gold, and I feel like I have kept some golds, but I don't necessarily feel drawn to this one, so this is going to go in the D-stash as well. That is OPI's Glitzerland. Next up, we have another OPI. Ooh, bit of a dirty bottle here. Now that is the section where I had some treats fall. I think I mentioned it in one of the other videos. I dropped a container of cat treats into this tote. Once we get down into that section, we're probably going to find more cat treats. But this OPI is called Honk If You Love OPI. And this one looks like I'm actually not sure where it would have come from, but there is the original tag that it came with, and this one is a beautiful deep purple. So this is one that the name sounds familiar, but it could just be that it's a classic OPI where you hear the name mentioned all over YouTube, but very pretty color. It's not nearly as black as it's showing up on my screen anyways, but a beautiful deep plummy color. So this is going to go in the keep pile as well. I don't think I already have a bottle of this one. Again, I will have to do comparisons. Of course, purple being my favorite color, I have a ton probably in my collection already to compare this one to, but that's going to go in the keep pile for now. That is OPI's Honk If You Love OPI. Next up, got another crumb covered bottle, but this one is a top coat from C&D. This is a fascinating bottle. I have never seen one this shape. Have you? I don't know if this is very common in this top coat, or if it's supposed to be like a duo and there's supposed to be like another half, or what the case is, but very interesting. And it is a top coat from C&D. This one also seems to have a little bit of like nail polish residue in it, but again, that's not the end of the world. This one seems to be a super shiny high gloss top coat, and yeah, it's going to go in the keep pile. I can always use another top coat. Even if I don't use it for my own manicures, I can always use it for my swatches. So that is the top coat from C&D going in the keep pile. Next up, we have another Sally Hansen in their color therapy line, and this one is called Pewter. And this one is, well, a pewtery color with some gold shimmer. So this one does have a gold shimmer to it, but the base of it is that pewter color. So we're leaning into more of a charcoaly silver. This one is actually very pretty. I could see myself at least attempting to wear this. Now on camera you are seeing a flash of gold in this, so we will of course have to see how it ends up looking on the nail. If all I'm seeing is the gold, I probably won't like it, but I'm curious how this deeper tone of this pewter color would look on the nail, and maybe even as an accent nail or possibly as a topper, so we're going to see how that goes. Again, with a lot of these, I don't know if I'm going to keep them long term, but I will at least swatch them and see how I like them. So that one is Sally Hansen's Pewter going in the keep pile. Next up, we have another Sally Hansen, this time in their Nail Growth Miracle line, and this one is called Mighty Mauve. This is not necessarily what I would call a mauve per se. It's a bit more neutral leaning than I usually call mauves. It's got kind of that, oh, what would you even call that? The silver peachy taupe almost. It has a pearl finish to it with some shimmer, which I don't know if that's going to come through on camera, but you can see little tiny pink speckles. Now this one is a beautiful neutral. I think on some skin tones this would look gorgeous, but I'm wondering if it might just not look fantastic on me. There are some shades that just don't work well with me. Let's see how sheer this was. Okay, so all right, so this has happened only a couple of times. Actually, it's been a while since this happened on video, but basically when this has happened, I've just been showing everybody what to do if this ever happens to an older polish that you have. And basically what you have is you've separated your nail polish brush from the cap. Usually that happens when some polish has gotten in between the top of the brush and your bottle and it sort of glued itself together. So what you do is you just put your cap back on ever so lightly. You're not trying to jam it back on, and just pop it ever so lightly. You're not trying to force it, just ever so lightly. That will loosen the brush, and then you just screw your cap back on. Not too tight. I have broken the threading on a brush tightening it too tight, so don't do what I did that one time. So here we have it. We have reseated our brush onto our cap, and there we have that color on the brush. This is actually a pretty neat brush and wand. Look at that. It's got a square wand, a very flat square wand, and then sort of a narrowing tapered brush. I actually think I do want to see how this looks on me, though. I'm curious. It does look a bit peachier and shimmery on the brush. Yeah, I want to really see how this one looks. It could look awful, or it could shock me and look really nice. So we're going to go ahead and give this one a shot, see if it's one that I like on. That is Sally Hansen's Mighty Mauve. Next up, we have a China Glaze glitter, and this one is called Winter Holly. And this one is a beautiful deep green full of holographic glitter. There's also some pink, larger particled, either shimmer or maybe even glitter in there as well. So my guess is, based on the name, this would have come out in a holiday collection. There we can see all of those twinkles on the brush and wand. So this one is a pretty color, but it's a very, very dark green. Oftentimes I like greens that have a pinch more blue in it than this, that lean a bit more of an evergreen, as opposed to this one that kind of leans more of like a deep forest green, or maybe even a blackened green. I mean, you can tell it's a green, but it's a bit dark for me. So I think I will go ahead and pass this one along. That one is China Glaze's Winter Holly. And we are just on a roll with the D-stashes. I think we are kind of half and half for this video so far. Next up, we have another from Nicole by OPI, and this one is called Shoot for the Maroon. Now this is another one where the name kind of sounds familiar, but I cannot place it. That's because I own the polish, or if maybe I have seen another polish that has a similar name. Maybe I have seen this polish. I don't know. Now I'm second guessing myself. Haha. It's because we have it. We probably saw it in the last video. So here we go. We have 2 bottles of Nicole by OPI's Shoot for the Maroon. Now, this one did go in the keep pile, but I don't need 2 bottles of these. So we're going to put the new one in the D-stash, and the old one will go back in the keep pile. Next up, we have this tiny bottle. What is this one? Well, it's a base coat, but I am having one heck of a time trying to read this. Oh, there we go. Mary Kay. Wow. I mean, that is teeny tiny print. Oh my goodness. So it's a base coat from Mary Kay. Seems to be mostly full. The fill line is a little bit below the neck of the bottle, maybe about right there. So, I mean, it's another base coat. Again, with similar with top coats, I use base coats every single time I wear a manicure, so this is going to go in the keep pile as well. I don't think I've tried the base coat or top coat from Mary Kay yet, so this is a keeper. That is a little Mary Kay base coat. Next up, we have another Milani, and this one is called Melt in the Sun, and this one is a very interesting sort of a golden orange. It is a couple shades deeper and more orange leaning than the Sinful Colors, which I described as a deep gold. By comparison, I think you can see that sort of a sunshiny orange in the Milani, and that one's kind of intriguing me. I want to see how this one would look on. It's got some beautiful sparkles in it, and I don't actually own that many from this brand. I think I own maybe a handful, and I don't think this is one that I do already have in my collection. So yeah, we're going to try it. That'll go in the keep pile. That one is Milani's Melt in the Sun. Next up, ooh, we have a rough OPI. Oh my goodness, it has seen some battle here. It got attacked by a glitter polish. This one is called Tickle My Francie. So this is one that definitely sounds familiar as well. I want to say this one and Essie's Ladylike, I think we're up there in my wish lists of this kind of a purpley leaning grayish color for a long time. Ooh, this is a wonky brush. Oh my goodness. Look at that. It is not supposed to be that wide. Holy moly. The bristles are escaping the wand. But it is a stunning color. I will definitely have to see about replacing that brush if I end up keeping this one. So I'm going to put this in the do I have it pile. And if I don't, it'll probably go in the get a replacement brush pile. But in any case, we're going to see if I own this and if this is worth keeping, because I wouldn't even really want to pass that along to anybody if I did end up destashing this, because that is an incredibly wonky brush. In any case, that one is OPI's Tickle My Francie, going in the gotta do something with this pile. Next up, we have one from the Color Workshop, and this one has no name. Okay, so I want to say in one of the mystery boxes that I got, I ran into a lot from this brand, and I want to say it is probably one of those gift set of nail polishes from the Color Workshop, and I don't know that any of them ever come with names. If they do, it seems that they get lost quite easily. The paper seems to just fall right off. But let's see what color this one is. This one is kind of a mix between like a mulberry with like almost a brick lean to it, which I think is pulling up even more red on camera than it is in person. It is in a cream formula. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at that. So at least on my screen right now, it is pulling very bricky red. And while it does have that red tone to it, it is not nearly as brick red as it's coming off on my screen right now, but it is a stunning color. It is very fall-esque to me, and this is definitely one that I don't own yet, so this is going to go in the keep pile. Again, at least until I can do those swatches and comparisons. That is an unknown burgundy leaning berry from the Color Workshop. Next up, we have another from Nicole by OPI, and this one is Cinnamon of My Dreams, and it is part of their Gumdrops finish, which is that like the Zoya Pixie Dust line maybe? Found some more of the treats. Willa is waiting next to me for the treats. She's been enjoying picking them up as I fling them her way. Got a couple more. Hiding over there. All right, so this one is beautiful. I don't know that I have any from Nicole by OPI that are in the Gumdrops line, but this is really gorgeous. This is sort of a mix between like a bronze with possibly some gold in there, and there is a rusty red, all in this either larger particled shimmer or maybe even some micro glitter in there. But I mean, look at how twinkly that is. This is another one that is just perfect for fall. It's another one that I know I don't have yet. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. That is gorgeous. Wow, very, very pretty. So I am curious now about the gumdrop finish. If you're familiar with that at all, let me know if you ended up liking it, if you had to put a top coat over it. I know for myself, I've definitely been collecting the Zoya Pixie Dust, but I will admit I have yet to wear it. So I'm hoping I like it. In any case, this is going to go in the keep pile as well. That is Nicole by OPI's Cinnamon of Her Dreams. Next up, we have a Sally Hansen in their Hard as Nails line, and this one is Pumping Iron, and this one appears to be a chromy silver. After a good shake, look how glistening that is. Wow. So I'm curious how metallic this one will look on the nail. Silvers and chromes are definitely one of those colors that for a while I was looking specifically for to find that perfect one, the one that I had envisioned wearing. I did recently get, but that was a really good chromy silver. So I want to say that that one though was maybe a pinch of a different tone to this one. This one's almost kind of got that dark cast around the edges of the bottle, whereas the other one that I'm thinking of had more of a pop of that silver chrome metallic. So in any case, this is one that I at least want to see how it would swatch, because even if this is darker than that one, this could make a really neat accent nail for some moodier manis, like say for a fall chrome when you're looking for something a bit deeper. So yeah, we're going to add that, see if I like it, see how it compares and all of that. That is a Sally Hansen Pumping Iron. Next up, we have another Nicole by OPI. This one is called Challenge Ready. So this one is a deep, almost verging on like dark cherry red, not like a black cherry, but a darker cherry red. And ooh, yeah, this one does have that sort of a berry lean on the neck of the bottle, which I don't know if that's coming through very well. It's definitely not as pinky as some of the other ones that we have seen in this color family, but it is a really nice shade. It is that deeper tone of red, and I think I want to at least give this one a shot. I am trying to find a few shades of red that I would like to have in my collection so that when I am feeling brave to wear a red, that I have some to choose from that I like. I've been keeping a few reds as I find them when they are this deeper tone, and even some of the brighter shades of red. So we'll see which ones I end up liking, but that was Nicole by OPI's Challenge Ready. Next up, look at this color. This one is a Revlon and it is totally toffee. This is beautiful. I love this tone. So this is like a pinky, caramely. Toffee is a really good descriptor of this. It's got that orange quality to it, but there's some brown in it. It's not quite a terracotta, but it's leaning clay. This is beautiful. Oh, wow. That is really, really pretty. This is another perfect one for fall, and fall is my favorite season. This is so right up my alley. This is going in the keep pile. Now, I want to say that the name kind of sounds familiar, but I don't really know, again, if this is because I own a bottle or maybe I just have another polish that has the word toffee in the name. But because of that, before I get carried away and put this in the keep pile, I am going to put this in the do I have it pile just to make sure that I don't already own a bottle. But if I don't, you bet your behind this is going in the keep pile. This is stunning. So that is Revlon's Totally Toffee. Love that color. Okay, next up we have another Sally Hansen in the Color Therapy line, and this one is called Reflection Pool. Look at this beauty. This is another gorgeous one. This is like a mix between a mermaid and a peacock. This is stunning. So you're mainly seeing that very vibrant greeny aqua come up on camera, but I think you can see that deeper tone around the edges. There is a deeper blue and other flashes of aquas and blues and greens. This is another dazzling polish and one that I'm pretty sure I don't have. So this is another going in the keep pile. That is Sally Hansen's Reflection Pool. Next up, we have one from LA Colors in their Art Deco bottle, and it is a gold. What's the name of this one? It is very original. It is called Gold Glitter. And that it is. This is definitely a gold glitter. Now, this is another one that's going to be in the nail polish, like art brush. So it is long and thin. And for this one, I don't know. Well, you probably can hear this coming a mile away. It's gold. Gold isn't necessarily my favorite. I don't feel particularly inspired to use this in nail art. And I have already kept a couple of gold glitters from China Glaze and I want to say another brand that I just liked better. This one is pretty yellow gold. So we're going to go ahead and pass this one along. That is LA Colors Gold Glitter. Next up, we have another Essie, and this one is called Pedal Pushers. This is another one I know I have, at least I think I remember the name. This one is a ever so slightly like warm gray. Now, the name though with this color isn't matching in my mind, so I don't know if I maybe have another Pedal Pushers in my collection. I don't know. But it is a really nice gray. I like the sort of a purpley blue lean that it has, which maybe on camera is not really coming off at all, but it is a really nice tone of gray. So that's going to go in the do I have it pile. I will check on the name, make sure I don't already own a bottle, but if I don't, this is going to go in the keep pile. That one's really nice. So that is Pedal Pushers by Essie. Next up, we have one from NYC, and this one is in their Expert Last nail polish line, which is supposed to last up to 7 days. And this one is called Late Night Latte. And this is another sort of in that lineup of the Sally Hansen Mighty Mauve. Except Mighty Mauve has a bit more of that blushy tone to it, whereas the Late Night Latte has more of a neutral lean to it, maybe ever so slightly, I was going to say cool tone. I don't think it's cool tone. I think it's just much less pink than the Sally Hansen. It also has that shimmery, ever so slightly pearl finish to it. It's an interesting bottle from NYC too. I do have a few bottles from them, but none are in this line because this bottle shape is definitely new to me. I think I'm going to surprise myself again with these kind of boring colors and hold on to this. I want to at least see how it might look on. I get the feeling that it might look good. I mean, it has potential anyway, so I want to at least see how it might look. Chances are I could probably pick one or the other of the Sally Hansen or this one if I like how either of them look, but that'll go in the keep pile until I can do those comparisons. That was NYC's Late Night Latte. Next up, we have one from C&D Vinylux. This bottle is very dirty, and this is the weekly top coat. I do not know what is all over this, but that is gloopy and gross. That is quite crusty. The bottle of polish itself, I think, is okay. Now, this could be a number of things that have spilt on it. It also could be dried nail polish, or who knows. But in any case, it is C&D and it is a top coat. I could at least use this for my swatches. So we're going to go ahead and add that to the keep pile. I will definitely clean up the bottle though. That's grossing me out. But that's C&D Vinylux, a top coat. Next up, we have a Wet n Wild. Oh, interesting. I don't think I have seen this shape of bottle from Wet n Wild. I know I've seen these, like the cylindrical bottles, which we have a couple over here in the corner, 2 different variations on the cap actually. I've also seen this shape over here. I want to say I had a number, or probably still do have a number of this style of bottle from them, but I've not seen this one. Huh. This is the Megalast, the Saving Base Fortifying Base Coat in Never Basic. Interesting. So it makes me wonder if they had a few base coats in different shades, but in any case, it is another base coat. And as I've mentioned before, I can always use base coats. I use them under every single mani. And I'm wondering if this has sort of like a blurring effect or a stain fighting, or what sort of a saving it's supposed to be doing, because it does say the saving base, or it could just be that it has some fortifying nutrients or ingredients in it. In any case, it's going to go in the keep pile. That one was the saving base coat from Wet n Wild. Next up, who is this? Oh, it's Smackers, so probably from the same makers who do lip smackers. That takes me back. So this one is called Sugar Swirl, and this one is mainly a silver with some like purple, and mainly purple. Now it's kind of hard because there is another nail polish kind of coating this. You can see that pink swirl there, but I want to say that there's a little bit of a pink tone to this one. Now this one was much loved, and oh my gosh, we have another really, really bad brush. But hopefully we can kind of see it there on the brush. It's mostly silver with a bit of a purpley pink flash. In fact, maybe the pink shimmer that we're seeing all over the bottle is this polish. Maybe it had an accident and spilled at some point, but I don't know. I mean, the Smackers takes me back. In fact, the polish may actually have a bit of a scent to it, but the polish just really isn't speaking to me. So I think I will go ahead and pass this one along. This will probably go in the like defective pile so that people know that, you know, something's wrong with it. I don't want to pass that along unless someone knows they're going to have to fix the brush. But anyways, someone might like it. If you think I should just toss it though, feel free to let me know down below. But that one was our first bottle from Smackers, and that was Sugar Swirl. Next up, we have another from OPI, and this one is called Nomad's Dream. And this is another beautiful sort of a toffee color. Just to compare it to that one I was oohing and awing over, which was the Revlon, you can see that it has a very similar warm tone. It's just not quite as deep, and obviously it has a shimmer to it, so it isn't going to have the richness that Revlon did. But this one is beautiful as well, and I don't think I have this one. This is, as you probably guessed, a color I could for sure see myself wearing. I love these toffee orangey browns. They are right up my alley. Now, I'm curious how I will like the pearly finish, but I do think in this color it's sort of complementary. So I want to at least see how it looks. And like I said, I don't think this is one that I already have in my collection. And again, this is a beautiful fall polish. So that's going to go in the keep pile. That was OPI's Nomad's Dream. Next up we have, we've got one from Spa Ritual. I think this might be our first one from this brand in this haul. This one is called First Light, and look at this beauty. This one I would describe as sort of a metallic mauve. It's like a darker version of a rose gold. This is really beautiful. Wow. Yeah, look at that color. So I feel like on camera, it might be pulling a lot more silver. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a metallic. There is silver in it, but you can see that maybe more pinker look on the brush. That's more what it looks like in the bottle. It is really, really pretty. And I don't think I have this one. I don't have too many from this brand. So this is going to go in the keep pile as well. I think this is another one that is perfect for fall as well. Can you tell I'm already ready for fall? I mean, I've really been enjoying the summer colors, but I'm already ready for fall. So that is Spa Rituals First Light. Ooh, we have a color club. This one is called Digging the Dancing Queen. Now that name for sure sounds familiar. I don't know if that's just because it's an ABBA song. In any case, this is a like pinky lilac. That is really beautiful. It is in a cream formula. And I don't think this is one that I have, but I will go ahead and put this in the to be checked pile just because the name does sound familiar. This one is a nice kind of a mix between like a vibrant and a pastel. So I suppose you could call it sort of a bleached neon. That is very nice, very pretty color. So we'll check on that and see if I don't already own a bottle. If I do, this one will go in the D-stash. If I don't, this one will go in the keep pile. So that one was Color Club's Diggin' the Dancing Queen. Next up, we have another from OPI. This one is called Come to Poppy. Ooh, and this one is a vibrant pink. So this one is a pink on pink. You've got this more, well, on camera, sort of an orangey pink in the base. It's definitely not that orange in person, but it does make me wonder if the base will have an orange tone to it based on what I'm seeing on my camera. There is a silver and a pink shimmer in there that you can see there on camera quite nicely. But yeah, that's very interesting how it's showing up on my screen right now. That orange that pops that I'm not seeing at all in person. But there we have it on the brush and wand. I think there on the wand you can see more of the color of pink that I'm seeing. Any of the orange is just my camera playing with it and amping up any of the orange tones that it has a bit more predominantly than it is showing up in person. But this is for sure a kind of pink that I could see myself wearing. I have been really enjoying these bright pops of pink in my summer nail polish rack, and this name doesn't sound familiar, so I don't think I already own it. This is going to go in the keep pile as well. That is OPI's Come to Poppy. Next up, we have another Sally Hansen in the Hard as Nails Extreme Wear line, and this one is called Mellow Yellow. And this one is kind of like a banana yellow, like a ripe banana yellow. Kind of a squishier formula. I was expecting this to be more of a very like creamy consistency, but it's got a bit of a squish to it. Now, it isn't exactly like a bright, bold yellow, but it's just, I don't know. I've been keeping some shades of yellow. If you're new, basically yellows are kind of up there with red shades where I'm still pretty picky about them. I'm definitely more particular about the tones that I like to keep, and I have already kept a few tones of a warmer like banana or daffodil yellow, so I just don't feel like I'm missing this from my collection, so we're going to go ahead and pass this one along. That is Sally Hansen's Mellow Yellow. Next up, here's one of those Wet n Wilds that I pulled from the corner when we were talking about bottle shapes. This one is called I guess this one only has a number, 415A. I am not seeing a name on this one. Well, in any case, it's kind of a pearly midnight blue. Didn't we pull one sort of that was a midnight blue? I think the Sinful Colors, which was midnight blue, is actually a lighter blue by comparison, which I don't know if that tone difference is going to show up on camera, but in person there's much more of a deeper midnight to the one that is Wet n Wild. By comparison, the Sinful Colors is actually a bit more of a brighter midnight blue. Still dark, but a bit more of a brighter color. So I'm curious what the name of this one would be. It seems to be in pretty good shape. I really like the deep almost purple tone that I'm seeing in this one, so I want to at least give this one a shot. It does have a number, so perhaps I can find if it has a name to go with that, but I think this is going to go in the keep pile. So that is Wet n Wild number 415A. Next up, we have another mini bottle, this time from Ulta, and this one also has no name. So my guess is this is another one that probably came in like a gift set of mini bottles, and this one is a very deep berry fuchsia. You have this purple flash in the shimmer, So my regulars will know that this size of bottle is just not my favorite. It just doesn't feel complete. It feels sort of like a kid's bottle of nail polish, even though I like tiny things. I really do like tiny things, but for whatever reason in nail polish, I'm not the biggest fan. So even though this is a stunning, stunning color, I'm hesitating because of the bottle size, but you know what? I think I'm going to surprise myself and actually keep this one because it's moving around really well. It has lasted who knows how long in this collection, and it's managed to stay liquid. So I think I'm going to go ahead and give this one a shot. I mean, look at that color. That is just beautiful. Oh yeah, going in the keep pile. Next up we have, one from Mineral Fusion, and this one is called Shimmering Shale, and this one is like a rose gold glitter. So seems to be, yaps, it is in a clear base with a bunch of that rose gold pink glitter. I'm wondering how this might compare to one of the Butter Londons that I have that has a ton of this pink glitter. I think it was like Rosie Lee or something like that, and I still have yet to wear that one, but I was blown away by the swatches of that one that I saw. So I want to see maybe how this one compares, or if this, since this one is in a clear base, this one could make a really beautiful topper over some fall shades as well, even summer shades. It's one I know I don't have. This is another brand that I don't think I owned any prior to this haul. If I did, it was probably one random bottle that I got in a mystery box. So that's going to go in the keep pile. That was Mineral Fusion's Shimmering Shale. Next up, we have maybe a new to me brand. It says Gel Effect Nail Lacquer made in Italy, and I think the brand is Aurora. And the color of this one is Inky Dinky. So definitely a new to me brand. This is a stunning, very deep, inky, like indigo purple. This is right up my alley. I love shades like this. And yeah, very much a new to me brand. If you are familiar with this, let me know down below. Look at that color. I'm curious if this is just because I didn't shake the bottle like at all, or if it is a squishy formula. Let's go ahead and find out. There we go. So I think it is going to be a cream. There, after a good shake, you can see that color there on the wand. Yeah, that is right up my alley. I love this color. So yeah, that is our first from the brand Aurora, made in Italy, and that one is Inky Dinky, going in the keep pile. Next up, we have another Sally Hansen Diamond Strength Instant Nail Hardener. I want to say we got at least one bottle of this before. Yeah, a different version. But this has been, again, an item that I'm keeping. It is not something that I use all the time, but if I have a nail that is being problematic, or I've chipped it or damaged it, or having some peeling issues, I often like to add this underneath my manicure to give it a boost of strengthening and help sort of seal the nail in. So this is going to go in the keep pile as well. That was Sally Hansen's Diamond Strength Instant Nail Hardener. Next up we have a red with no branding whatsoever. So this one is, my guess would be another that came in maybe like a gift set. It is a slightly darker red, like a cherry red, even though I feel like on camera this is kind of popping a bit brighter than I feel like it is in person. So I'm wondering if I can fix this. So, oh, yep, here we go. There we go. So if you've got a bottle that's doing that, again, be careful with your tightening and whatnot, but if you've tightened the bottle where you feel like it seals naturally and the lid is cockeyed, oftentimes, like with Butter London, and there's a few other brands that do that, the cap portion, the decorative part, can come off, and then you can just put it back on in a way that is more aesthetically pleasing and lines up. In any case, this one is a completely unbranded red, and like I said with reds, I mean, it is kind of up there with this one from Nicole by OPI. It is very, very similar in this deeper cherry tone of red, but I have already kept the Nicole by OPI, and again, reds aren't necessarily my favorite, so I don't feel the need to keep yet another red, especially with no branding whatsoever. So that one will go in the D stash. It'll go under U for unknown. Next up, we have one from Q-Tex. This is Strong Nail. It is a nail strengthener. I feel like maybe it got dyed with a polish though, because It is marked out here, so I'm not sure where the red tint came from, but in any case, I think this will go in the keep pile as well. Again, nail strengtheners aren't something that I use all the time, but every once in a while they are handy, so that'll go in the keep pile. That is the Q-Tix Strong Nail Nail Strengthener. Next up, ooh, here we go. We've got an indie. This is from Nail Nation 3000, and this one is called Rad. And this one is a like bleached out green lemon lime shade. There's a lot of shimmer. It's not quite a bleached neon. There's not quite that punch of color as there would be in a neon. It is like a soft bright. There is a load of shimmer and it is a very nice color. I think I will go ahead and keep this one. This is not a color that I would wear very often, but I kind of like this tone, maybe for a brighter spring shade, and I know it's one I don't have, so that's going to go in the keep pile. That was Nail Nation 3000 Rad. Next up we have a Revlon, and this one is the Double Twist Fast Drying Base and Top Coat. So this is one of those things that I think was sort of an in thing back in the day. Since then, a lot of people have come to the realization that you can't, at least easily or well, use a base coat as well as you can for a top coat. They're never going to be the perfect top coat as they are a base coat and vice versa. So I don't think this sort of a thing is as in nowadays, at least in the indie world, but it is handy to have, again, for swatch purposes and things like that. I don't think I'll end up using this for my own manicures, but you can always use more for my swatches. So that is the Double Twist Fast Drying Base and Top Coat from Revlon. Next up we have, I actually don't know if the branding is on here because there's no branding whatsoever on this bottle, but on the little label here it says Clionadh Cosmetics, which I've never heard of, and it says made in China, Nail Enamel Professionals 2000. So I don't know if 2000 is the year or if that's the name of this polish, but that's all the information I can find on this little guy. Again, this may have come in like a gift set. It is a really pretty color, but this one is pretty gloopy. This one I think would need some nail polish thinner to help bring it back to workability, because trying to apply a polish that's this thick would not be very fun. But it is a very nice pearly burgundy. There's sort of a raisiny color to this as well, which is actually very pretty. So I think, surprisingly enough, I think this is going in the keep pile. It's fall, you guys. I mean, it's not fall now, but it's a fall color, and apparently I am in a fall mood today. So this one's going to go in the keep pile. I will see if I can't fix it and thin it down to make it easier to work with, but I want to at least see if I can't get a manicure out of that. That is just a very pleasing color to my eye. So that is what I'm guessing is Clionadh Cosmetics. Let me know if that seems right to you or if you're familiar with that, but that's going in the keep pile. Next up, we have another Nicole by OPI. This one is called Miss Independent. And this one also has that gunk all over it that was on the bottle from C&D Vinylux. I don't know what that is, but that's gross. I don't know if it's, again, like food or something else that's spilled in it, but in any case, the name of this polish does sound familiar. This one is kind of an icy pink metallic. And because the name does sound familiar, I think this is going to go in the Do I Have It pile. I will check and see if I do already own this bottle. If I do, this one will go in the D-stash. I will clean it up for sure before I do that. And if I don't, this will go maybe in the keep pile to at least swatch and see how I like it. But that was Nicole by OPI's Miss Independent. All right, 2 more gets us to 60 bottles for this video. Let's do this one. I see a Pacifica cap. This one is called Daydreamer. Ooh, so this is a very interesting mix of like a corally orange with some pink. The pink shimmer in it sort of has a purple glow as well. That is a stunning combination. Ooh, there is something just so eye-catching about orange mixed with pink, orange mixed with purple. I don't know what it is, but every time I see it, my eyes drink it up. It is so neat to me. And this one does have that summery vibe to it, so apparently I am still feeling the summer colors as well. In fact, I might want this color on my nails next. That is just fabulous. It's one I know I don't have, and this one actually might be one of the first bottles, if not the first, from this brand in this haul. So this is going in the keep pile. That is Pacifica's Daydreamer. All right, one more to close out part 37. Who should we pick? Let's do... I'm seeing too many I want to pick. I think I'm going to do this one, this little Revlon, because it has this glittery cap, and it's one of the ones that has been catching my attention. This is part of their Glimmer Gloss line, and minor side story, but this reminds me of the Barbie shoes that I really, really wanted when I was a kid. They weren't the clunky ones. They weren't the ones that looked like Minnie Mouse shoes, like the big plump ones. They were the really sleek plastic ones, and they were clear with silver glitter like this. Ooh, I loved it so much. My friend had one, and I wanted a pair. In any case, this Revlon is called Grapefruit Glimmer, and this one is beautiful. I don't even remember this line coming out necessarily, but this is right up my alley. I would guess, based on what I'm seeing in the bottle, that this is probably a sheer, maybe topper, or just a completely sheer polish. But I'm loving the sort of a pink grapefruit tone in that jelly base, and then look at all the shimmer and glimmer on the brush there. Against the black bristles, you can see all sorts of different colors coming up. You've got fuchsia, purples, blues. Wow. Yeah, that is really pretty. So going in the keep pile, we are closing it out with a Revlon that was Grapefruit Glimmer. And there we have it. That was 60 bottles from this last tote that we're going through. As you can see, we have at least 2 more videos to go through in this tote. And then we are on to the sorting, the comparisons, the swatches, and all of that. If you've hung around for the entire video, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've had a good time hanging out with me again and looking at more beautiful polish, this time mostly in the mainstream arena. As I mentioned in one of the other videos, I really appreciate all of you guys tuning in, so to speak, every weekend to watch these and to leave your comments and information that you know, things that you might know about brands. All of that is very helpful, not just to me, but to anybody else that might be watching the videos and be curious like I am about those brands. So a big thank you to each and every one of you that are leaving those comments down below. It is a huge help, and I really, really appreciate it. If you're new, make sure to hit the little subscribe button down below. That way you don't miss out on any of my new videos. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in that next one.